Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to our channel, Kahani Card, the storyteller. Get ready to listen the stories with Kahani Card, Manoj Kumar. Once upon a time, there was a farmer who had a small farm not far from a country village. He owned very little, but from this small farm, he was able to support his family. Of the few things he did own, one was an old mule. For years, the old mule has helped him plow his field, carry his produce into the village, and harness to a cart, drive his family to church every Sunday. The village near where the farmer lived liked to celebrate all the annual festivals, and for the coming new year decided to have a fireworks display. But nobody stopped to think about how this night affect an old mule in a nearby paddock. The mule was standing in his paddock, head drooped toward the ground, eyes closed, slumbering peacefully on a New Year's Eve, when suddenly the sky exploded with weird flashes of light and cannon like bangs that could have heralded the start of a war. The poor mule, thinking the world was coming to an end, fled in terror, blindly running across the paddock. As it happened, there was an old well in the paddock. It was dry and unused, having failed to continue its supply of water many years ago. Normally, the mule would have avoided it with great care, but in the pitch black of the night, the terrified mule stumbled and fell down in the narrow well. Fortunately, he landed unharmed at the bottom. The next day, the farmer was surprised to find his mule missing and began to search around his home. It wasn't long before he heard a faint echoing bray coming from the depth of the well, and to his dismay, found his mule at the bottom. There was no way he could safely climb down the old well to get the mule. There wasn't a long enough ladder in the village to reach the bottom, and even if he had been able to get down, how would he get the mule out? He called his farmer friends to help. They thought of rigging up a winch to lower the farmer down to the mule, but the walls of the well were too old and crumbling. It was too risky. Even if they have lowered someone down, how could he attach a harness to lift the mule out in such a small space? The farmers stood around the well, peering down, scratching their heads. One of them said, "It's hopeless." "Impossible," said another. And the third said, "The poor mule is going to die a slow, miserable death down there." Someone said, "Best put him out of his misery." So the farmers picked up some shovels and started to throw soil down the well to bury the mule. At the bottom of the well, the mule felt this weird stuff, like dry rain, falling on his back. He gave himself a shake, and the soil fell down his hooves. The mule stomped around a little, and soil hardened underneath his hooves. More soil fell on his back. He shook it off and again stamped around some more. He was surprised to find that after doing this for a while, the bottom of the well had risen an inch or two. He was looking at the wall, a little higher than he had been before. The more soil of the farm, the more soil the farmers shoveled in, the more the mule shook it off and trampled it firm under his hoofs, and the higher he rose up toward the surface bit by bit. Yes, as you have guessed, the mule eventually made his way to the top. And thanks for watching.